Alrighty, so I thought we would ask Mother Nature if she has any messages for us today. I'm going to be using this Roots and Wings Oracle deck, as well as this Terra Botanical Tarot, because how appropriate. And there will be 3 piles. The first pile is this cup of bird seeds, which we use to feed the birds in our backyard. Pile or group 2 is this dirty rock, which is actually very pretty though. And pile 3 is this wand of a leafy thing. Pile 1, bird seeds. Pile 2, dirty but pretty rock. Pile 3, leaf wand. And we'll begin with pile 1. Let's move this mess over here. Okay. Alright, so okay, so pile 1, bird seeds. Let's see what messages Mother Nature has for you. So, Mother Nature, for pile 1 or group 1, what do you see? What do you want to say? What do you want them to know? I saw that dance. Oh, inner vision. Too many. But I'm going to take this one. I'll remember that. Held, and another eye with guarded came out. So, you have an incredibly strong, lucid perspective on reality, the world that you live in, and even beyond that. You're somebody who understands it very well and sees it very clearly. You guard that perspective and that perception even just naturally. You're not a very impressionable person. You are accepting of other views and you see their truth in everything, in everybody's perspectives, even ones who hold opposing views to your own. But you are not changed by them. You are not swayed by them. You have a way of understanding the fact versus the fiction of all things, and you see that all things are a mixture of 50-50 fact and fiction. I see this little bird seed, like the freckle in the eye right underneath the pupil. I see these two over here like bookends for the violet spectrum of the rainbow. You are like a very high-minded person, and you work very well and naturally with your upper chakras, your third eye and your crown and whatever even exists above that. You were born this way. It's always been kind of hard for you to find your grounding and to feel safe wherever it is that you are. Your root chakra is one that has always felt kind of afflicted. You don't feel safe and you don't feel grounded, or that's not how you have felt in this lifetime here in this plane of existence. It's because you don't know like how to hold limiting views, ironically. It's hard for you to get along perhaps with whatever the cultural or societal norm is, because you don't know how to hold limiting views. Your views are so expansive, and they always have been. When you look upon a thing, you don't just see that thing, you see all of the movement, the way it was created, the way it was formed and shaped to be whatever it has become, and where it is moving forward, what it will evolve into. When you look upon a thing, you don't just see a solid form, you see something like hypnagogic, like full of movement. You see everything in everything, and that's always how it's been. And because you exist up in the realm of the ether, within that network of knowledge and information, always that's where you live, it's been hard for you to find your grounding here in the 3D material reality. It's created a lot of hardships, and it has tried very much to challenge your inner vision, though it was not successful. So that's the first thing we have here. Maybe that's why bird seeds, because they represent the birds, and it's kind of like where you live is up in the sky. An incredible inner vision, such a strong, vivid perspective of all things. An aerial view, you see everything as if traveling from an airplane. You've got an aerial view of everything, this world, life and dimensions in between and beyond it. What is the message for you? The Six of Cups. The Queen of Wands. And the Nine of Cups. Ace of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Seven of Pentacles, sadly. So the Queen of Wands in this botanical deck is represented by the voodoo lily, which is a really powerful type of flower. It has a really powerful, unmistakable, distinct stench. It has a very strong energy that doesn't mix with anything else around it. Nothing really approaches this kind of a flower or feels like it can dominate this kind of a flower. It's too strong, it's too powerful. The only things that come near it are those things that are on its level, not intimidated by it. The voodoo lily. And then we've got the water lilies surrounding it with Scorpio 6 of Cups and Pisces 9 of Cups. The message to you is that there is this one thing, either that took place in your childhood or it's just a memory that you have been holding on to that in a way has obscured your otherwise very strong vision, inner and outer vision, something from the past, either from your childhood or it's just a memory of something that you're holding on to that was very precious to you and still is very precious to you. It has almost tainted your vision of the world. It has almost corrupted your vision of the world. But at the same time, it has made you stronger. But in a way, it has made you all too guarded. And has made you feel all the more ungrounded, unsafe. Mother Nature sees that something took place, that something that represents your childhood or form of innocence, something that you loved with the purest heart, is something that you've lost along the way, but you carry it with you everywhere you go, and in a way you see it in all things. It has become part of your vision. It's always in your line of sight. Constantly reminded of this thing, and everything that you see is almost like a metaphor or a symbol of this one thing that represents something that is such a pure, innocent love, hope, and or wish. You take it everywhere with you. And it has made you guarded because the hurt that you were forced to face, you still carry with you, and you expect that hurt in all of these things moving forward. So when you look upon everything and you see it as a reflection or a metaphor for this one thing, it comes in like a package deal of two equally opposite things. It makes those things which you look at all the more beautiful, precious, and meaningful. But it makes those things equally come off as something that they're like warning, of those warning colors that predators in nature usually have or wear. It makes you immediately mistrust the thing itself and make you feel like you are unsafe for gravitating toward it, for loving it, because it is similar to the way that you love this one thing. So you have spent a lot of time going inward and renewing your inner vision as much as you can. And you have become very guarded to the world around you, outside of you. But Mother Nature says that you are free to explore, you are free to see the world however you naturally see it, you are free to gravitate and move toward these things. You're safe. Things won't end up the way that they did here with this. That was a memory that reflects beauty but also pain, but not everything in the future, not everything in the world will be lined with such spiky edges. You are safe and free to explore and believe and dream. When you see something beautiful, don't be afraid of it. It is the true nature of that thing. When you feel the urge to follow your goals, to follow whatever that beautiful rainbow is, go for it. You have the urge for a reason. Feel free to speak out because you have clarity. Feel free to follow your thoughts because they are clear. You have such a strong mind and vision. Don't let it go to waste. You deserve to dwell in high places. You are more like a bird than a human being. You see everything and you are one with the wind. But you are also so much more grounded than you realize. You are the Queen of Wands, as in the voodoo lily, as in you grow from the ground up, as in you have roots that run deep. So don't be afraid when the things call to you, because they're beautiful, attractive, and freeing, you feel. They call to you for a reason. They will offer you such a fulfillment that you feel in your mind's eye and in your heart, and you're right. You're free to go after it. The Three of Cups and the Four of Swords. A lot of cups. The water lilies. And then the Four of Swords. Epiphytes. The swords, or the air element of this deck, is epiphytes, as in plants that grow in high places, like you. Remember who you are. Don't let yourself, and you never did ever before, but moving forward, remember who you are. You're somebody who doesn't let yourself get lost in a crowd. You're not somebody who lets yourself blend with the energies of other people to the point where you lose yourself. That's never who you've been. And good for you. It's part of your strength. You have a way of protecting your mind so that nothing can penetrate it except the truth. The Emperor here as this cactus. You are so much safer than you know. You are so much more protected. Like a cactus, you are lined with all of these spiky things. Anything that would ever try to mess with you or take your dreams has it, has it all mixed up and is about to get fucked. Nobody fucks with a cactus, and it's the same spikiness we see here and here. You are so much stronger and more protected than you realize. Nothing can mess with you. You have so many dreams, and they're so precious, and they will change the world, and they're meant to. You are an individual unlike anybody else. You are a standalone. Feel free to move forward and indulge in the pleasures of life. It will help ease your mind the more that you do, and remind yourself how safe you are and protected you are. A strong vision like that, and so much direction and so much awareness, don't let it go to waste. Mother Nature thinks the world of you. And the visions that you hold are sacred because they're true. And that is so rare in this world. Everybody sees what they want to see, it seems. Everybody's got a projection to project onto the world to satisfy their own whatever fears, hopes, whether or not it's true. You're not one of those people, though. What you see, what you process, what you register is real, is true. That's so rare. What a waste it would be if you ever lived in fear all too guarded when you're somebody who doesn't need to be guarded. You are protected. It's in your nature to be so protected. You're free to fly and you're free to move and change with the wind. You have control enough. You always have, and your perspective is meant to be shared with the world. It will change the world, what it is you see, what it is you know. This is what Mother Nature sees in you and wants to share with you. Okay. So now I'm going to move on to group 2. Beautiful birds. Uh-oh. Now my cat's getting excited. I bet it's not playtime, kitten. Believe it or not. Okay. Okay. So, group 2, you chose this rock. This dirty but super pretty rock. Messages from group number 2. The dirty but pretty rock. Messages from Mother Nature. Intuition. That's too many. Just one. Okay. Intuition, night. How appropriate. Okay. So, group number 2, messages from Mother Nature in the form of intuition and night, or the bear and what looks like an owl. You have been in like a deep spiritual, almost like hibernation. It's been a very long winter, so to speak. It's been a really tough time. A lot like being in between a rock and a hard place. But this in itself has been a spiritual awakening and a spiritual journey. So first thing to note is that if you ever felt like you weren't doing too much, or you weren't doing enough, or you were in hibernation for too long, the first message is no, you were not. You were doing way, way more than you realize. That whole phase, this whole phase, in the dark, in the spiritual slumber, has been among the most productive phases of your life, and good for you. It takes a hell of a lot of strength to go through what it is that you've been through. You are strong, you are a rock. So much has worked to kind of like dull out your shine. And that's why this journey through the night was necessary. All of the things that accumulated over you, over your being, they needed to be cleaned off and released. Because you do have such a vibrant, multifaceted glow. It's always been there. And it was time for you to go inward and find it again. Beneath all the dirt, beneath all the shit that accumulated, that life put upon you, that people put on you, the burdens that you've carried. There is so much shine, there is such like a prismatic beauty. It needed to be rediscovered, and that's what you've been doing, and that's what you've done. Furthermore, it sharpened your intuition. You were in a great state of confusion. A veil was pulled over your eyes. It blocked your sight. For a while, not forever. But the reason that was orchestrated by the divine or by spirit was it was like an exercise to get you to use your intuition, tap into it, and learn about just how powerful it was. You've been in the dark, you know what confusion looks like. And that's why moving forward, you will never be confused ever again. You sorted that out in the cave, in hibernation. That's what you've been doing, whether you know it or not. Most creatures that can't survive at night in the dark, that's when they go to sleep, because they can't traverse the woods, they can't see. And all of the darkest, kind of scariest of creatures come out at night anyway, so it's safe for most creatures to go into hiding or sleep in some safe hole. That's not something you will ever have to do. And nighttime is as clear as day for someone like you, for what you've been through and what you've learned and how you've learned to see even in the dark. There will never be a dark enough night ever again where you need to be in hiding to figure out what's going on through the confusion. That will never be a thing for you ever again. You have found your way out of such a thing. You have collected all the tools that you will ever need. It might be natural for you to be awake and alive at night. You might be a night owl. which makes sense. You can see in the dark no problem. You have incredible sight. Your intuition is incredible. There is no form of night that is too dark. Not for you. Not after what you've been through. Not after what you've tapped into. The Knight of Swords. Knight? The Lovers. More air. More air with the Page of Swords, and there is that Earth. I fucking knew it. I knew it. There had to be Earth. Eight of Pentacles. Not exactly perfect, but the perfectionist in me is like a very rambunctious. Especially, are you kind of a perfectionist? Like, am I channeling you, or is this just me? Okay. And then another Knight of Wands. Okay, so we've got the air and the earth. But hold up, because I forgot who the Knight of Swords was in this deck. Oh, that's right. But we were called to this for a reason, so I'm just going to read it. So remember, the swords in this deck and the air element court cards in Minor Arcana are represented by epiphytes, or the plants that dwell and grow in high places. So we have the Knight of Swords, which is a resurrection fern that grows in the tops of trees and tree branches, just like the Page of Swords, which is the Spanish moss, which is like this flowering moss that drapes over in the similar places, tops of trees and tree branches. We've also got the Lovers, depicted by the twin sycamores at Sheridan. Two trees that were molded together by a botanist who wanted them to grow together, and over time they actually did. They grew in tandem together, forever intertwined like this. And then the pentacles in this deck represent nuts and nut-bearing trees. And remember that air and earth combined is magical manifestation energy when you take your thoughts and you make them into reality. You are a brilliant magician, and you always have been. You're the kind of person who, even when you sleep, or especially when you sleep, things come to you, like you'll wake up with random blessings. You attract and create even more when you sleep. There's something about the way that you manifest. It most potently is taking place in the middle of the night while your brain is actually turned off. You have a very wild inner world. And the way that you manifest is actually in your sleep, believe it or not. Wow. Okay, I'm going to read about this Knight of Swords, this resurrection fern. It says, resurrection ferns can be found living primarily on the rough bark of oak trees, nestled in the deep groves of particularly old trees. In the dry season, they appear to be utterly dead. However, this is just a temporary state. The rainy season comes, water runs in the rivulets through the grooves of the oak trees, and the resurrection fern soaks it in and suddenly comes roaring back to life. In just a matter of hours, they burst into life, pliant and green. Resurrection ferns are the definition of resilience and resourcefulness, spreading when the conditions are favorable and laying dormant when they are not. Hell yeah. You've been in a weird, like, spiritual slumber, and to any passerby, you've looked like you've just been asleep or even, like, unalived. What they didn't know is how it is that you work, and the way that you manifest takes place all the more when you are asleep, and when the whole world doesn't even know where you are, where to find you. They consider you gone from this world. This is how you operate, and you learn a lot when you go inward, like hermit energy. But every time it rains, anytime there is an opportunity, something that comes your way in some surprising mode for some reason or another, you burst back to life. Knight of Swords. You come in like flash and you leave, and then you come back in and you surprise the people around you. The way that you operate is very unique. You do so much more in the dark while you're in hibernation mode, and you are not somebody who ever sleeps, though it may appear that way to the people around you. All you do is manifest, and you can do it by sitting in your cave and doing jack shit. But what you're doing is manifesting and creating a lot. You are a manifester of like the highest order. And you pop back into reality, pliant and green, with all of this drive and all of this shit on your side to boast, and nobody knows how you did that. Nobody knows where it came from. Everybody thought you were gone. Where did you come from? This is your energy. This is what Mother Nature sees in you. You've got such an interesting mode of existence and being. Anytime you go inward, it's for a reason. And people who don't understand that need to get with the program. You work really, really hard in ways that people don't understand, and even if they tried, they couldn't hack it, because it's not their gift, it's yours. Beautiful. And then we have the Page of Swords, and that is the Spanish moss. It's just this thing that drapes freely over the branches. There is no breeze that is too strong to knock it off its guard. And just like everything else that we've discussed, there's something about you, especially depicted by this Page of Swords energy, where you kind of can just sit and lounge around and look like you're doing nothing. But you're doing a lot even when you are not moving at all. There is a lot going on in your mind. And the thing about this Spanish moss is that when the wind blows, little pieces of it do blow away with the wind. And they look like they're gone and going nowhere. But those are seeds that are being planted. More of that moss all over the place, all over a wide expanse of forests and trees. This is how you operate. You can sit there and do nothing somehow, but you're generating so much power, and you're creating so much. It's what you do. And you do this in tandem with another. You're not the only one here. There is some kind of a soulmatey energy. Like, I don't use the twin flame terminology because I'm not an expert on that stuff, so I never say that. I just say soulmatey energy because that's as far as I can see or recognize it. If you subscribe to like the twin flame thing and you know better about it, then perhaps you already identify as somebody who's on a twin flame journey. Again, I don't like to use that because I'm not an expert in that and I don't know anything about it. I just know they exist. That's it. So I'm just going to like limit it to like soulmatey energy. But whether you know it or not, whether this is somebody you've already met or not, you are manifesting in tandem with another person always. You are the feminine energy, whether you are a male or female, as in you are the, well, I guess you are earth and air energy, sure, but there's something very feminine, as in there's something really subtle and almost inactive about the way you operate. That's why I attribute it to like a feminine energy, whether you're male or female. But you do have a counterpart, whether you know this person, whether you guys are together and you already know this, or you've never met them. You should know that you are growing in tandem with somebody else who identifies as a masculine energy, perhaps, as in they are way more active, and they're not manifestors the way that you are. They actually have to go out and get shit done. They balance you out in this way. Mother Nature wants you to know this if you don't already know this. And you guys have been together for many lifetimes. Like, this rock, like, it's always been and it will always be in every form. Over eons, the thing will erode into something else, sure. But all of those particles and all of those pieces are a combination of you and this other person. You find each other and come back together in every lifetime. You both operate in different ways, but you do the same thing. You manifest so much in your own ways. So either you already know this and this is somebody that you're with, you should know that this is like a divine counterpart. Otherwise, if you don't know this and you've never met this person, then you should know that you will. The Knight of Wands, that is the daffodil, right? Yeah. And the daffodil is like one of the first flowers that pops up during spring. It like sounds the trumpet to let all the other flowers in nature know that spring is here. It is a messenger of a new beginning of love. So if you don't already know this, you should know this. And if you are holding on to, for example, somebody from the past, it may be that person. And then look, we have this card, the Methuselah, representing the world. This is a tree that represents something that has been here for an immeasurable amount of time, like over 5,000 years or something. Before the pyramids of Giza were erected, this thing was in existence. Just like this rock, this is just like this union you have. It's been there from the beginning and it'll be there through to the end. It is marked by its longevity, its like almost permanence in an impermanent world, you know? I don't know if this is somebody who you separated from and you miss very much. Otherwise, there's somebody who you miss very much and you gotta let them go because they're not that one. But pretty soon you'll be hearing it. You'll be hearing from this person, or you will be meeting this person to begin anew. And you know, spring is what comes after winter. And as we discussed, you've been in a long winter. That's about to end, and you should know that you're strong enough. Stronger than you realize. You're literally like an incredibly strong being is the message here from Mother Nature. And the way that you operate is so mystical and gorgeous. And what you don't realize, or maybe you do, is that you manifest in tandem with this soulmate energy. Whether you've met them or not, you will soon. Oh, wow. That went... Oh, I didn't expect that. Okay. So now I'm going to move on to group 3. Wow. Okay, so group 3, you chose this Leafy wand. Let's see what Mother Nature wants to say to you. for group number 3, what is the message? What do you see? What do you want to say? Oh, dang. That looks so much like our Leafy wand. Wow. Wow. That's beautiful. Okay. And we've also got a feather with, okay, so inspiration and spiritual guidance. Wow. Okay. Okay. So, group number 3. Ooh, it's a numb leg. I gotta stop sitting like that for my readings. Lose all awareness of my body, I swear. So, group number 3, the message for you is, did you ever realize like how transformative and infinitely creative a visionary you are? Did you ever realize all of the change that you have sparked in the lives of everybody around you in any given moment and setting? Like, are you aware of the effect that you have on people and this world? Whoa, this is powerful. Okay. You are unique in ways that are wild. And you are a gift in ways that you don't even realize. But it's time that you do. You have a kind of faith that literally never falters. Even in the times where you have felt hopeless and faithless and thought that, like, have completely embraced, like, nihilism or, like, a totally existential view of the world, even in those times, there was such a big, booming faith in your heart and your soul that even Mother Nature itself could feel and was inspired by. Your capacity to maintain and regenerate your faith over and over and build upon it and only make it all the stronger is unbelievable. In everything that you do, in every breath that you take, it's like a prayer. Like, it's like a prayer. Every movement of yours is just like a prayer, whether you know it or not. Something about you is so faithful and loyal. Loyal to the people around you, loyal to the animals, to the plants, and loyal to your spiritual guidance, to your spirit guides, your ancestors, your angels, what you believe in. You have so much faith, and even in the times that right now you can remember, like, well, I remember what that low point in my life where I had no faith and I believed in nothing. That's bullshit. Because underneath it, Mother Nature felt what was coming from you, what you were generating, whether consciously or unconsciously, was this faith. Endless faith. And it goes hand in hand with this creativity that you have, this inspiring creativity that you have. They go hand in hand. Because faith is something that you have to invent and reinvent and engineer and re-engineer over and over through life. It is a creative activity. And you happen to be incredibly creative. And it's hard to tell if you are faithful because you're so naturally creative, or if you are so endlessly creative because you are just naturally faithful. It's hard to know where it begins with you. These are just two incredible strengths about you that Mother Nature sees and wants you. For some reason, the tone is coming out like a really booming, wants you to see this and know this and keep doing this. Your faith, your capacity to dream, to weave dreams out of nothing for yourself and everybody around you is transformative. You transform people and yourself no matter what. It's like magic. No wonder why it's this evergreen wand. It's really inspiring, and you use it like a magic wand. You can make anything come to life with your dreams. You can breathe life into anything the way that you wish and you hope. Man, it's incredible. If you don't already write, then you should, is another message, because that's a great way for you to channel your spiritual guidance. Writing songs or writing poetry or just writing whatever random ass shit that comes out, you channel very much through writing. Oh, so it's also like a quill. It's something you got to get into if you don't already do that. You can like write down your question and then write down the answer as you see it. And that answer that you are writing, your hand will be taken by spirit as it writes for you, the answer. You have access to a lot of spiritual knowledge. And one way to channel it is through writing if you don't already do that. Or painting. Just using your hand and an instrument to put something on paper somehow. Or even music. To use your hand to play drums or strum a guitar, there is something, spirit, it works through your hands. So that's one thing with you, pile 3. Ooh. Yeah, you want to be up here? Okay. Okay, so what else here? Man, this one was like a powerful booming message. The King of Wands, who is the chrysanthemum. Anthem of the chrysanthemum. Ooh. And it even looks like this flowering inspiration card. Hey, I saw you too. The 5 of Wands, which is also an angiosperm. The wands or the fire of this deck are the flowers, the angiosperms. And, oh, hey. And then we've, of course, fucking no shock there, the card that represents hope and faith came out. The star. And the sunflower on the bottom of the deck. Wow. Your energy, your energetic field, even if you feel like you are some kind of a curmudgeon or like a grouch, something about your energetic field or like your aura is so incredibly cheerful. People who enter your reality or just are in your presence are hit with such a wave of cheerfulness. It's wild. Even if you believe that you are a grouch, you're not. People do not register that about you at all. You are an incredibly cheerful energy that it just comes off you and people are inspired by you. Okay, so we've got the King of Wands, which is the chrysanthemum. We've got the 5 of Wands, which is just your regular old angiosperm that's experiencing change and is having a certain problem with change. More so than anything is sparking a lot of change for people all around you. And then we have the star, which is represented as the stars of Bethlehem, which are a type of flower. They represent hope and faith and a new beginning. These are the flowers that show up at the end of winter while there is still snow on the ground. These are springtime flowers, but they come up toward the end of winter, and because they are white like the snow, they are almost indiscernible from the snow itself. It's hard to see them, but they're there, and they have a lot of hope, and they are the leaders of spring, but they begin way early in the winter time. So even in a world that is covered in snow, that is, for all intents and purposes, dead, where nothing can grow, we assume, you still have a way of sprouting out from the ground and puncturing through that wall, that thick blanket of snow, and showing and radiating your hope for those to see it. And those who have eyes to see it will see it, and then over time the rest will. But you are that person who grows in the places where we would expect nothing to grow. In the winter of discontent, you have a way of sprouting out from that blanket of snow. That is your faith. That is your creativity. That is, this is the energy that you radiate, and people see that about you. Mother Nature sees that in you and wants you to see it in yourself for some reason. It makes me feel like you don't already know this, because the way the message is coming through is like really powerful. It's like almost not even a reminder. It's like a lesson that you need to learn now, because maybe you don't know this about yourself. And then we have the sunflower on the bottom of the deck, representing the sun, of course. And I'm going to read about this King of Wands because I forgot all about the chrysanthemum. It's crazy because I've studied this deck so many times, and yet. Here I am sifting through the pages. So here it says, the chrysanthemum's name translates as the golden flower. No shit. Not because of its color, but because gold is considered a pure material, and chrysanthemums have a rich symbolic history. They stand tall as a member of the Four Gentlemen, a group of plants symbolically and artistically signifying the seasons, and that are used throughout China, Korea, Japan, and Vietnam. In ancient China, almost all parts of the chrysanthemum had medicinal use, with roots that could be used as pain medication, and petals that were brewed into ceremonial tea, making it a very useful flower for cultivation. Legend has it the flower possessed the power of life, and chrysanthemums became associated with longevity and good health. These flowers bloom brilliantly in autumn, lending color to the land as the season transitions to chill winter. They are associated with long life and rebirth. The King of Wands represents leadership, creative boldness, and optimism. Hell yeah. But I forgot about all that incredible shit. That it was like considered gold or a form of gold, because that's just how valuable it was. All of the different uses for the chrysanthemum, it is a reflection of your creativity and what it is that you give to nature as in humanity, what it is you offer, all of the multifaceted things that you are, that you allow people to be inspired by, that you use your creativity and your faith for. It's endless. You bring color to a colorless world. That's who you are. You create so much change. And you allow yourself to be changed by spirit. You are a very pure, clear channel for spirit to run through, because you have trust and faith and you remain open. And because you're so high vibrational, just by nature, only the highest vibrations are the things that run through you. It's beautiful. So this is the message to you from Mother Nature. In case you don't already know this. It seems like you don't. Well, you do now, so you have no excuse to ever forget it. Oh man, that's beautiful. These are 3 really cool messages. Okay, so I hope that's useful, and I think that'll do. Thank you.